Hello. And today we're gonna go over two theories assigned by me, assigned by my professor, and one of them will be the theory of cognitive development and the maturation theory. Both of these are very essential theories that many educators need to know in order to understand student learning. First one, we're gonna go over theory of cognitive development, and it pretty much says here that theory of cognitive development was developed by Jean Piaget, which helped develop the nature of and development of human intelligence, and therefore there are four stages in which cognitive development happens. So pretty much what he did is he developed a chart in which it measures human intelligence and how much they're capable of during all of these four stages. So we're gonna go through each and one of them. So we're gonna go with the first stage, will be the sensory motor period, which it goes from birth to 2 years, which means that the way of thinking of a child is only based on what he or he sees, hears, feels, and tasted, and they do not have the mental capacity to document the language that they do. Because, to be honest, like at that age, they do not possess any words, any language whatsoever. Maybe they might understand one or two things, but they do not have the capacity to document. Second stage will be the pre-operational period, which is from 2 to 7 years old. This is a stage where there's a rapid development of language, which means that they start acquiring the language that maybe their teachers, their parents, their brothers, like their siblings, or their close family members are speaking. Therefore, picking up the language that they have been hearing throughout those years. So their way of thinking is very concrete. Thanks to that, their way of thinking is very concrete. So they'll be able to understand a little more during that time period. Thirdly, is a concrete operational period, which it goes from 7 to 11 years old. And in that particular age, the child is able to use concrete objects as a vehicle to begin to think about abstract concepts. And now that they know how to document mentally with that language, they know they can use their sensory capacities and able to speak. They'll be able to. They can use now they can use concrete objects like as a tool to be able to think beyond, to think about like beyond what is the concrete, something more abstract, something more theoretical, if you want to say. But they're not just quite there yet. But at least what they already have set in stone is language, reading, writing, and then they're developing that part of thinking about abstract concepts. And then the last one, the fourth stage, will be formal operational, which is 11 years to adult. And in this at this age, they'll be able to think beyond concrete and they will be able to use language to express those theoretical concepts, thinking beyond, outside the box, beyond just like saying like writing persuasive essays. There's ethos, pathos, and logos. They'll be able to think like, oh, I can use all those elements in my essay, but I can also do a mixture of those, and they will be able to think like, they will be able to dissect on the concept as well, not only what's like on the superficial, but also dissect, and they'll be able to create, like analyze and create, just like Bloom's taxonomy. Like they're at that age where they can start creating on the concepts that have been taught for them. This is why it's very important. This is why like the theory of cognitive development is important, due to the reason of um, due to the reason of that that this is like a measurement in which educators can look at in order to understand what the children are thinking, because this is an age in which children are capable of understanding and not capable of understanding. It gives you a measure. So uh, in this manner it can affect the classroom due to the fact that it can affect to the classroom affect the classroom due to the fact that that educator knows what they're capable of and what they're not capable of, and what kind of lesson plans they can develop in order to ensure that they maximize their learning, but just not being too rigorous on them, or being like not very rigorous, because it has happened that educators are often putting too much rigor on the lesson, because and therefore they're not capable of making results. And there has been other instances which is like not very rigorous, and it does not help to it does not help to develop it does not help them to develop more theoretical concepts. And this is why like we should be able to focus more on the zone of proximal development, but that's another theory for another occasion. But this is why that zone of proximal development was developed, because we need to put them on the age that they're capable of learning. Now we're gonna go to the second theory, which it was developed by Arnold Giselle, if I'm spelling it right. And this is a maturation theory. And the maturation theory is stated that reading instructions should be not implemented until students reach the age 6.5 years. From this theory, like from my take on it, from the research that I have done, it's that students you cannot prematurely like for in this instance, in this sentence, educators, parents, or what have you, cannot prematurely teach students to in advance how to read, how to speak, and everything, because there's already set in stone within their within their brain, their cognitive development, that it starts developing at a certain age. So it in reality, even if you teach them how to read at age 1 or 2, in reality, it's not really gonna help. It might help, but not. But it won't be like it won't. It wouldn't make a huge difference at the end of the day. So this is why, like in the maturation theory, it has been set in stone that children learn at a certain age, and you cannot prematurely teach them, because in reality it's not going to make a huge difference. It really won't. And this is why it is important to understand that in the classroom this will be this it will be to have that knowledge.